Hello everyone, this is Kevin Mange, and this is Kev's TV series. And in today's topic, I'm going to discuss the Mirror of Erised. And maybe this also implies to the second topic after this, because of how both of them might tie into one another, of both are parallels. But anywho, I'm talking about the Mirror of Erised. And after the Mirror of Erised, I'll be talking about Boggarts. But before I talk about Boggarts, it's time that I talked about the Mirror of Erised and what the Mirror of Erised does. Some of you, and a lot of you, would understand of what you understand about the Mirror of Erised. But apparently, it holds a dark secret. Its dark secret is about how the Mirror of Erised can help you find a purpose and a motivation. And if you're wondering of how that is a dark secret, I recommend watch Harry Potter Theory to understand its dark secret. Because apparently you may not understand about how a purpose and a motivation can be the Mirror of Erised's dark secret. But more about the dark secret is within how Harry Potter Theory put it down in its dark secret. But apparently the Mirror of Erised was created by Salazar Slytherin himself. But more on the discussion of its dark secret is still within Harry Potter Theory. So, of the Mirror of Erised, the Mirror of Erised is capable of showing off your heart's desires. And the reason why I brought this up is only because of if I were to look into the Mirror of Erised, and when you look into the Mirror of Erised, you see what your heart desires most of all. And these are two parallels. One is based on weighing either or between Ravenclaw and Slytherin. Because, believe it or not, those are the two houses that are wavering what is me deep into my core of a person that is me. Between the person I am, the hat would wonder about if I am really a Slytherin or if I'm really a Ravenclaw. When I took the test, the Pottermore test, it showed off I am definitely a Ravenclaw. Maybe I'm not a Gryffindor after all. but there's some things you need to know even if I am a Ravenclaw. And I explained that down when I did from in the past. But this is more about if I were in these two houses, what would I see in the mirror of Erised being in one of the houses? For if I'm in Ravenclaw and I look into the mirror of Erised, I would just see me as a Slytherin. Because deep down in my heart's desire, all I just wished, all I ever wanted, was just to be a Slytherin. And why is that my heart's desire? Well, think about of what I said before in my other videos that are kind of personal-ish. Because all I just want is just to be a Slytherin and be just like every other Slytherin and not feel so afraid of being mean, being mad, being angry, being irritable. I just want to be like that if I am a Slytherin. But even if I'm in Ravenclaw, and I look myself in the mirror and I just see myself as a Slytherin, that part of me does want something like that. And I would just be happy knowing I would be something like that because that's what our Slytherins are, right? Being the baddest of the bad, being a bad guy. Even though it could be my fear, I just want to conquer my demons. And in order to stop my demons, just be the demons and don't hold back on them. If you can't beat them, join them. Plus, it'll give me more motivation than ever to also be just like them. The people that are supremacists, racists, and our call, my kind, what they will take as a foul name. Mudbloods. I just want to be someone who does not want to turn out weak. Is the truth. I want to be what Slytherins are known for. The bad people, the bad eggs. That makes them cool. And if being bad is cool, then I'll do so. Slytherins have the cool people. And in the mirror, all I could see is me with the cool people, with the Slytherins, and I would see me and all other Slytherins showing off how I can be a Slytherin. I would just be smiling. Smiling on the fact that of why I would want to be a bad guy. And show off to Slytherins what I truly mean to be as a Slytherin. Slytherin house is just the coolest house. More than ever. And I'll take anything just so that I could only be a Slytherin. And no doubt about it. But it would just be just a desire and nothing else. Just as a Ravenclaw, and I would enjoy seeing myself as a Slytherin. With those that would understand why I'm a Slytherin. And not what they all think to me as what I'm to be. I would be the first Muggle to be ever a Slytherin. And I'll show you Slytherins that this Muggle is fighting back. Fighting back and show if this mudblood won't squander down if you call me that. The last thing I would want to ever hear you call me as if I'm weak. If you call me weak, then I will be insulted. Not by the name Mudbloods, but by being what you see as if I am weak or not. And is my fighting words weak? Is my fighting words not good enough not to be a Slytherin? I'm serious. If I'm not a Slytherin, according to them, or weak perhaps, then they made the biggest mistake of their lives. I would instantly use the killing curse to end them, to show them I am a Slytherin. The last person to call me weak will end up dead. Nobody calls me weak and gets away with it. I will remember it, and I'll cast the killing curse on you, or the torture curse on you. I will torture you and kill you if I'm not a Slytherin. And I mean with all my heart, okay? But if I'm a Ravenclaw, yeah, it's just a desire. But on the other end, if I am a Slytherin, and I see myself in the mirror of Erised, the one thing I would desire most of all is, well, I would see my parents. Unlike Harry Potter seeing his parents because he never even saw his parents. The only thing, what he wants most of all, is just to see his parents and feel happy that he finally gets to see his parents, most of all because of why they were dead in the first place. He just wishes he knew them. And that's why that was his heart's desire. Seeing his parents alive and finally getting the chance to see them, even though he never knew them. And that's why it was his heart's desire to see them. That's the point on Harry Potter's end. Just to see his parents. But for me, it's different. Of why I would see my parents in the Mirror of Erised? Well, the one thing of what I desired most of seeing my parents in the Mirror of Erised, I'm not saying my parents are dead. But it's what I did to them. I'm not saying I killed them. But what I did to them was hurting their feelings. And when I see them in the Mirror of Erised, this will just be a moment on what could have been if I hadn't been mean, mad, angry, and irritable. Because my parents knows that they love me so much. And I know they love me so much. I just never meant to hurt them. If I saw them in the Mirror of Erised, I would just be like this in a moment. Seeing them. So, I'm looking at the Mirror of Erised right now, and I would see my mom and my dad. I would touch the Mirror of Erised. But after I said this, Mom? Dad? I would then touch the Mirror of Erised. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I have become. I didn't mean it. I would then move my arm away and both of my parents would nod their heads to me that they know that I never meant to be a bad person. I just wished I could have been a good person and more of a kind person. Because they know the real truth about me. The real me. So I would just cry and smile. be there and show off that I am a good person deep down. Even though I may be a Slytherin, and on the Ravenclaw side of things, yes, to show me I am a Slytherin, but on the Slytherin side of things, I just wish what could have been what I hadn't have done. Because I know I still have a heart. So I would just stay there and look at my parents, seeing them and enjoy in the fact that they're there and I will be healed emotionally. Because with them, I'm home. No matter how much I hate them. All I could just think about is what I did. And I hadn't been like that. So right now, I'm making amends by actually being committed to my basketball tournament. I knew I was wrong to been like that. Changed on my mom. I'm just now knowing the feeling of what my mom really feels to me now. And that feeling is being happy. Who needs my birthday anyway? My birthday may not make me special. Guess I'll have to go and find something else that makes me special. As long as to know that my mom will always be with me. In my heart. And that's the only thing that I will ever So that's everything that you heard if I would to see myself in the mirror of Erised, and those are the two parallels in between what is true of my real heart's desire. Even though I want to desire to be a bad person according to Slytherin, through Ravenclaw's heart's desire, but in the Slytherin's of my heart's desire is for my parents to just finally understand me. And those are the two parallels, either between I'm a bad person or two parents that would understand me and not see me as what they thought of me were, of what I did to them for. my only heart's desire of what could have been. And that's what my heart's desire is saying. And what I would see in the mirror of Erised. And that's all I want to talk about. Bring that up in the mirror of Erised. But as for on another flip side is, well, not the mirror of Erised, but about more like Boggarts, for example. And this will just increase my fear of my fear's desire. And that's what Boggarts are like onto a person and what they're most afraid of their most desires of being afraid. So if the Boggart can depict on what you're most afraid of, then this video is based on both topics on the mirror of Erised and Boggarts. As for Boggarts, it would mirror what I'm most afraid of desired. And as for the parallel of what I showed myself of in the mirror of Erised, is what the Boggart would show off to me of what I am afraid of. And under personally of what I am afraid of is definitely me and my mom. I'm not afraid of my dad. And if I am afraid of my mom, is because of, well, what he yells at me for. So it would be the same thing again on different parallels. On if I'm a Ravenclaw or if I'm a Slytherin. So on the Ravenclaw side, of what I would be afraid of on the Ravenclaw side would be me because of what would make me as a bad person. So the bad person within me, should I truly want to be a Slytherin, that part of me would torture me and kill me. But mostly torturing than killing me. So that part of me would use Crucio. And I would be like, It's like that part of me is a Dementor. But it's not like sucking out of me of my soul, but more like that part of me wants to do this to me. Almost like a Dementor in facing off Force Lightning from Star Wars. And I would just be like, no, please, stop this. Never. I want you to be tortured. You are weak against me. Hearing that, I would just run away in fear. Out of the Defense Against the Dark Guards class. So my fear would then reflect on me because of my anger, irritability, being mean and being mad, and that's why I'm afraid of it. A part of me that I shouldn't have changed. As for my Slytherin side, my fear would be on my mom, because when my mom would come out, of that cabinet, she would be like, Kevin, happy are we? Of who you really are? A bad person? Because of that. Now you really are not nice. And I didn't raise my son to be this way. And I thought you loved me. You hate me. And after I heard that, that would just make me cry, and I would say, I never meant to hurt you. It was all my fault. I'm sorry. If you were truly sorry, you should leave Hogwarts and come back home. Now! Okay, I'll come back home, god damn it. And because of my fear of my mom, Mom would be like, good. Never again will you step foot in Hogwarts ever. I'm afraid you'll never get a chance to live in a college. I don't want you to live in a college. And if this is your way just to desert us, I would just have no words to say. But to actually listen to my mom for once because of why I've been the way I was being on my mom. I would leave the defense against the Boggarts class without a word. I would just look at the Slytherins in the defense against the Boggarts class and felt sorry I wasn't. What I'm supposed to be to them. Even though I was them, I'll just look at them with sadness because of what I have become. And then I'll walk away. Unpacking, leaving the wizarding world, and going back to what I am. Just a plain old muggle that would never learn magic. As I go back, even though I have learned magic, I would then suppress my magic inside of me when I would return home. And as I suppress my magic as I do, that would have been Mom's biggest mistake if she would ever do that as my fear. I would then turn off to be an obscurus, and then would just be by myself over more I could do with the damage I would have done after I suppressed my magic. So, there you have it. What I would see in the mirror, and what is my big time fear of all, personally. But to be honest, more about Boggarts, Boggarts can be anything else than just, well, you be feared personally or anything else. And I've just found out in the books that the Boggart was changing into different things of what other people could have been afraid of. And that's what I mean right there. So, I know I had other fears before. So it would show off bees, then into a shark, and then Bratz dolls. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I'm afraid of Bratz dolls. And why I'm afraid of Bratz dolls? Well, the reason why I'm afraid of Bratz dolls is because of what would I think if this could happen to me? If every man could be women, and I'll be the last guy left, and I would run away from my life, trying to survive away from these Bratz dolls, and they'll destroy us all, destroy us all, destroy us all, destroy us all, and getting rid of the race of all the men. And I'll be the only guy left, and boom. The Bratz dolls would search for me and turn me into one of them. a girl, and get away from me! Don't turn me into a girl, please! But as a Boggart, those rat dolls will come out and get at me and instantly turn me into a girl. Ah, no! Run away, all you guys! The brat dolls are gonna take us over! Run away from this class or they'll take over you too! Run away, you dudes! And the rat dolls would be like, you're screaming like a little girl. Because of you. Well, I'll turn you into a girl. When we will make you into a girl and you'll join us within the cabinet. You'll be your own Boggart on other people once you're with us as a girl. No! So, there you have it. My other fears I talked about, and my fears personally. So in that book, even if that Boggart would become something else, it's only because of why there's another person that's afraid of this, and another person is afraid of that. So that's why that Boggart was like that. If there's someone else who's afraid of whatever this and that is, according to what the Boggart was, becoming into the book, and there was someone in that room that's really afraid of what the Boggart became. So no doubt that the Boggart would just turn into what anybody else's fear would be in that room. So that's why the Boggart was switching to different other things of what other people in the room would definitely be afraid of. So, there. That's Boggarts talked and the Mirror of Erised talked based on two other parallels about me and other things that are just not personally, but those three things. I'll be sure trying to eat me up, and bees going to sting me at my ears. Not my ears. Ooh. And then I'll see Emily, and she'll be like, Emily! I'm sorry I did this when the bees got me. I'm sorry. Ah! My ear! So, there you have it, of how things would go down and impact me on the Mirror of Erised and a Boggart later. Sorry, Emily, of how I did this from before. I'm sorry I freaked you out. Later.